I'd really like to hear you talk about, number one, what prompted your passion to want to learn about nutrition, and then what made you choose NTI?
I just feel like everybody who goes into this career field has a story about their own health journey that brings them to NTI or brings them into the field, or a loved one that has gone through a health journey, and mine's no different.
I wasn't feeling great, and each one of my kiddos had issues around food, energy, focus, and learning.
At the time, we had just found out that my husband was pretty sick, and it was a lot of layers of sickness.
When my youngest daughter was 15 months old, I came down with an autoimmune disease.
I got really sick and had to retire. I had no energy. I couldn't get up off the couch. Knew the doctors to go to, knew the questions to ask, and could not get to the bottom of it.
My dad was a diabetic. He had heart issues. Both my parents were obese, and it was just a check-in point for me going, I want a different path.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to nutrition until issues started popping up in my life that I didn't know at the time were related to nutrition.
I just had this very clear vision of if I understood how the body worked a little bit better, or a lot better, then I could help myself and my family.
And one of the things that was working at that time, he was working with a nutritionist, and it just floored me how quickly things started to change for him.
Within a month, I was just a completely different person. Like, so much energy, I didn't know what to do with it. I was sleeping really well. I just didn't have migraines anymore. Just everything just started to go away.
You know, skin problems cleared up. I was thinking more clearly. I just had more energy throughout the day. And that was kind of a light bulb moment for me where I was like, wow, this is actually very powerful stuff.
She finally turned to me, and I was probably 28, 29. And she just said, have you considered going back to school for this?
At one point, I was thinking to myself, I thought, all right, what can I do? You know, it might be too late for me to become a doctor at this point.
I didn't understand the science. I just didn't have the science background.
I was like, okay, what do I want to do next with my career? And nutrition was what I was passionate about and what I did in my spare time. So I decided to see if I can just make that something that was a full-time job of mine.
It was just that piece that was missing. And, you know, life happened. You know, I started working, I became a single mom, and one thing led to another, and there I was in my 60s going, you know, either you go back or you don't.
Something triggered in my brain, and I said, I'm going to save up for this. This is what I want to do. I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to save up.
And so I started researching schools, and being somewhat of an academic snob, I didn't want a weekend feel-good course. I wanted something that was going to get deep into the science of why I was doing what I was doing.
I looked into dietetics. It was a very lengthy program, but it was also, how do I put this delicately? I guess I don't. The people that fund those programs are big food and big pharma, and I was not interested in that.
I started researching NTI and realizing that it was a completely different approach than a dietitian program. It was more holistic.
So then when I was kind of looking at different holistic programs, NTI then and still now by far raises the bar. I don't think there's anything compared to it.
I didn't think I could ever turn it into a career until one day, like, a pop-up ad came up for Nutrition Therapy Institute. And it was honestly like the clouds parted, the angels sang. It was love at first sight. I loved everything I saw. And
I researched you guys. I went through, you know, the website. I looked at the courses. And honestly, I was just absolutely blown away. I thought, wow, holistic, check, you know, online, check, science, check. So it just met all my needs.
Something that really led me to you also was how science and research based you guys are, and the emphasis on that, because I do have a science background.
Everything on the website just spoke to me, the whole holistic piece on it, the nutrition piece on it. And I started getting really, really excited. And it's like, that's what I need to do next. And that could possibly be a second career for me.
You guys really focus on the science behind it and the why. And I really wanted to know, you know, exactly what was going on in our bodies at a molecular level, and, you know, the food that we're eating and why that had effects on us, positive and negative.
I was just sold. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. This is what I want to do. And I think I went home and I think I signed up the next day.
So I attended a webinar and I literally cried after because I thought, this is so perfect. This is exactly what I want to do. And so I made it work.
Not to scare anyone off, the curriculum is hard. It is science-based. You do start, at a cellular level. And at times it seemed a little overwhelming, but the support is amazing. That the professors are responsive, and it's built for your success. So when I say it's hard, I don't mean it's not doable. It's so doable, but it's very rewarding because it's hard.
You start with the filter of anatomy and physiology and biochemistry, and then you take some of those same concepts and principles and you put them through the filter of the next course. And so you don't have to feel so overwhelmed with that. You're just looking at the same information from a different lens.
I came to NTI thinking I'd find like the one true diet and I'd go forth and share this magic information and fix everyone's problems. And I was very quickly relieved of that mirage. So I found out there's not really one true diet. There's so many different ways to put a diet together, and it's very individualized.
We didn't focus on, we're keto focused, we're paleo focused, we're vegan focused. It's, hey, I know about all of these. Let's find out what's going to work best for someone's biochemical individuality.
The staff, the faculty, they were absolutely amazing. I mean, here I was going back to school in my 60s and technology was like, oh, you've got to be kidding.
Yeah.
Google Docs and download this and upload. Right. I thought, I cannot do this. But the office staff, give them a call and in 2 seconds they had an answer for me, and same with the teachers.
I was so happily surprised by how the program is structured. The entire program is structured, down to how you do exams and how you want people to absorb the information, and the assignments. And it was just so well done.
And then when I graduated, I did it strictly for me. I had no inclination to go back to work again. And so many people said, what have you done? You're a different person. And so actually at age 60, I started this business.
And then I ended up getting employed as the nutritional health coach at Vitamin Cottage, which is now Natural Grocers. And that was a really good place for me to kind of get practice working with people.
And I'm already seeing clients. I just signed one about 30 minutes before this call. I'm meeting new people and I'm able to do it in my own schedule.
I did end up starting my own practice. So I work one-on-one with clients, which has been amazing. And I'm learning so much. And everything that I learned at NTI obviously is extremely valuable, and I'm able to help people.
It's kind of a passion project of mine to spread this information to areas where people don't necessarily know about it. They don't have holistic providers that they can go see, but being able to work virtually with them, I still feel like I'm able to help and to educate.
Once you start working with people, you realize you know so much more than what the vast majority of the population knows, and you really can help them. So that's been like a very rewarding thing to realize.
Food is medicine, and food is a first attempt of improving your health and quality of life.
Food is everywhere. We can't ignore it. Yeah. So from minute one, once you understand a little bit more of what's going on, it impacts immediately.